what's happening today inside our society. You speak to a Muslim, you remind them about Allah, everybody says, no, Allah will forgive me, Allah will pardon me, Allah knows what good deeds I do. You don't even pray, and you're talking about the good things that you do. And you're a person who cheats Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's no point in saying, I don't cheat against people, I don't lie towards people, I don't commit anything wrong in my life. The biggest sin, the biggest crime, after shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is to disobey Him. Is to disobey Him, leaving the prayer. That's what we find inside this ayah. قَالُوا لَمْ نَكُمْ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ. A person who abandons the prayer is heading towards Jahannam. We don't live in a Muslim environment, but in a Muslim country, whoever leaves as-salah, فَقَدْ كَفَرَ. That person has committed disbelief. If you live in a Muslim environment, because we don't live in a Muslim environment, many people haven't been taught, praying isn't to do with somebody who's religious, who keeps a beard, or goes to the mosque, or is an elderly person, or comes at the age of 50, 60. As-salah is for every single Muslim. Every single Muslim has to pray 5 times a day when they get to the age of puberty, and they haven't lost their senses, they have the ability to comprehend and to understand, and their good health and state, they have to offer their prayers. As for many of our people in our society, we begin to think that salah is a cultural practice. That people, when you get to a certain age, or when you have the time, you have the space, you begin to offer your prayers. No. So this is the first blame upon these individuals. They've been thrown inside Jahannam because they never used to offer their prayers. Then second, we find they never used to do what? Feed the poor people. So some of us, we may pray, but when it comes to taking care of the orphans, taking care of other people, we become selfish. We become selfish. That's why we find a lot of the reason for poverty inside our society and in the Muslim world at the moment is out of selfishness. If there was no zakah, many of us wouldn't really care. And even some of us, when it comes to zakah, we don't really want to pay it, we don't really want to give it, or we make excuses, or whatever it may be, we transfer the money to another account, or whatever it may be, playing these games with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or our transactions, you can begin to see how many of our transactions that are dealing are when it comes to money. Many of us are very religious when it comes to the masjid. When it comes to what's outside in the world, what's known as fiqhul mu'amala, about business transactions and working outside in society, what do we begin to understand then? We leave Islam then. We deal in riba, we deal in interest, we deal in haram, we do haram. We say, because we're living in the West, we have to earn a living. Who says that you have to do that? Who says you have to sell alcohol? Who said that? Who said you have to sell alcohol to get by? You can become a street cleaner, you can wash windows. Who's forcing you to sell alcohol? And some people, they don't want to address these topics because unfortunately, some of our masjids, unfortunately, are funded by people who deal in haram and then give their money to the masjid, so the masjid will keep a lid on it. Be silent about it. Don't say anything about anybody because these people might get upset. Because many of our Muslims, unfortunately, their risk is from haram sources, unfortunately. Because the things that they do, they begin to think that as long as I read my salah, I come for Yawmul Jum'ah, I throw maybe 10, 15 pounds inside the bucket, so the Imam has no right to ask me about how I live my life, whether I'm doing halal, whether I'm doing haram, etc. So this is all dangerous, a dangerous belief, that to separate your religious belief from your external belief. When you come out in the wider society, you still try to enforce the teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to the best of your ability.
Allahu, 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 Allah, Allah.